By the way, it was called a DURBO party, which stood for dance, you're, with a U, because I'm a nerd. You are, so D-U-R for your, but B, off. Oh, so it was a DURBO party. So I even branded it. I just kind of look over at someone. I go, it's time. We're going to kick it.
It takes you going around the living room with a platter of shots. Because that's what you did.
That's what I did. Women you'd least expect, you know, the prim and proper, sometimes women of the suburbs, flying around my house. I had at one point, a woman did a slide across the floor thing at one of the parties.
I go to school with your son and he doesn't talk to me, what the heck, and we're dancing together and you're spinning me around and it's like, now I'm driving you home and you're giving me $40 because you don't know what the going rate for a cab is.
We are more than just a mother-daughter duo. We are best friends, business partners, dance partners, and more. Despite living on opposite sides of the country, we talk every single day.
And we talk about it all. Life, work, social media, shopping, family, our hopes, dreams, goals, nothing's off the table, and we're inviting you to the chat. This is yours truly, a glimpse into what goes on behind the TikToks and inside our conversations together, even those extremely long tangents.
When you join the chat, you're not just a listener, you're officially part of the family.
Today, we're going to talk about one of the greatest Palisi traditions that was ever created by Helen Palisi, and that is our dance parties. Well, your dance party. I would say our dance parties. Helen, back in the day, created the Dance Your Butt Off, also known as the DURBO parties, for all the women in the town to let loose, have fun, and just have a night of dancing. So we're going to transport ourselves back to Chatham, New Jersey, and we are going to talk all about those epic dance parties.
Amazing. Let's just explain how this all started.
I miss them.
Yes. And I think a lot of people miss them. I hope that some of the people listening actually were people who were at them, because then it would be really fun to have that coming into our comments or reviews. So please think about that. If you're listening and you were at one, please chime in so others could hear about.
I mean, all my friends are at them.
Yes, all your friends were at them. So why dance parties and how did this happen? So when we lived in the suburbs, and I used to go running, and I would come home from running, and I'd have music playing, and I'd be dancing in the kitchen, or I'd be getting ready for a run, and my blasting, mix was in my ears, and I'd be dancing around the kitchen. And one of the days that I came back from a run, and I said to Tom at the time, you know what would be great if we could have a dance party here, because I think that women, as we get older and we're not clubbing anymore, we're not actually, when do we get to dance? Okay. Sorry, clubbing. Okay. But we're not going to the clubs anymore. We're not out there, at the disco, Juli. Anyway, so we never have the opportunity to dance except at a wedding. And usually you're wearing uncomfortable shoes and your husband doesn't want to necessarily dance with you. And it's sometimes the music isn't what you want it to be. It's you're dancing to celebrate good times and you want to just kind of end it. So I had this idea and I came home and I said, wouldn't it be great? And I think I should have women only. And I can open it up to the neighborhood. At the time, I was in charge of the neighborhood association in our local area there. And I was like, I could put out an email and see if people would be interested in this. And it was this wacky Helen, I Love Lucy moment where I had this brainstorm of an idea. And in typical Tom fashion, he looks at me and he says, do it. Just like that. It's almost like he's so used to my harebrained ideas that he just goes, I don't know, what else am I going to say? Because she's going to do it, right? Yeah. So I go, I'm going to do it. And I get all revved up. I'm I'm planning, and I'm we have great speakers in the house. Thanks to him, we had this really nice sound system in our family room. So I was I was thinking, I'll hook up my computer, I'll make a playlist, at the time I'll do the thing on iTunes, and I'm going to have the mix, and I'll put out an email and see what women want to come. Even if there's only 20 women, we could just blast the music and just dance. It'd be so much fun. Well, little did I know what was to come, because that Friday, this was on a Monday, and that Friday night, there were 50 women in my house, and it was
dancing.
Epic. People brought wine, they brought appetizers. Wait. Go ahead, tell me. Interrupt.
We rolled the carpets up.
Did.
We pushed the furniture back. We cleared out 2 rooms of the house. So the living room, and then there was a little eating area. We cleared out all the furniture.
We did.
It was just
we rolled it up.
It wasn't just we got food. It was no. Manual labor to prepare for the dance
sweating.
party. Rolling carpets.
Yeah. And also I had from a shoot somewhere along the way, I had accumulated a disco ball or two of them in my house, I think. So I brought these disco ball lights up, and I had them on the tables in the corners, and I mean, I dressed, I used to really get dressed in like crazy big shoes. And I would tell people, come in exercise clothes if you want, dress to dance and sweat. That was kind of the idea.
Yeah.
But the first one, I wanted it to be really epic. So I dressed in these big shoes, this cool outfit, like I was clubbing, going to the club.
Gone to the club.
And people came in, and I was trying to figure out, people come in and they start, they're having a glass of wine, they're chatting, I have music playing, but it's not like right away we're on the dance floor. It takes some time. So it
takes you going around the living room with a platter of shots. Because that's what you did.
That's what I did. I had platter of shots, and I went around, and the thing is, for me, I was getting people to do the shots, so I was doing the shots with them to like get the
and
group
you were
each
lightweight.
time. So I did have a shot where I wasn't that crazy because I can't even hold like a glass or two of wine now. So and then be able to function. So I had like these.
Were you doing the old like whip it over your shoulder?
No, I was doing I had a quarter shot for me. So it was like a little sip, and they'd all do the shot, and then I'd go to the next group of people, and I'd fill up the one close to me with just a little bit so I could do the half a shot or whatever. So I was getting everybody revved up. And then I was like, I just kind of look over at someone. I go, it's time. Like I must have got loopy enough to where I was like, we're going to kick it. And I go over, and I had what was going to be my first song planned, whatever. Like, it's usually like, let's get the party, let's get it started. One of those songs or whatever, something crazy from back in the day, 80s, 90s. And I blast the music, and women were dancing. And it was insane when I tell you the women you'd least expect, the prim and proper, sometimes women of the suburbs, flying around my house. I had at one point, a woman like did a slide across the floor thing at one of the parties. It was so nuts. And then we had coolers outside. We had everything kind of organized. By the time I got rolling with this, because I had such a great time at the first one and everybody loved it so much, the emails I got the next day were insane. People were making me cry, literally.
Can I just say, from my perspective, it was like, so fun because like I would invite my friends and we'd like hang out in the basement until people started dancing, and then me and all my friends would come up and dance with all the women, and it was just like, and it was fun because like their moms were there, so they were dancing with their moms, and it was like this fun thing. But it was also like really weird because it's like, I go to school with your son and he doesn't talk to me, like what the heck, and we're dancing together and you're spinning me around, and it's like, now I'm driving you home and you're giving me like $40 because like you don't know what the going rate for like a cab is. And it's just like madness. Oh my God. But it was like so much fun.
It was so much fun. I'm so glad that you could tell your perspective of it, because I forgot about the part where you drove people home, because there was that. The people that couldn't
as soon as I got my license, I would be like, I was like the Uber before Uber.
God. Oh my gosh. And then we had coolers out in the back for some of the beverages. And then there was a whole system. I would say to you, Julie, at 9 o'clock or whatever the time was, if the party started at 7, at 9 o'clock, the music's going to hit at this time. Like, I would tell you when things were supposed to happen so you could remind me, because I'd be drinking.
You're like, bring the food out, bring the drinks, do this. Like,
I had like a whole
dessert, and you bring out the dessert.
You were like the crew, you guys, and so you would help me. And then because we had the beer outside one of the dance parties, now the boys and everybody kind of knew what was going on, right? So
and our house was like on a hill. It was like very noticeable.
It was in a kind of a fun spot where it was on a turn. So we had a situation where a cooler disappeared because there was a pull-up drive-by. Somebody ran in, picked up the cooler, ran it to the car, and a bunch of teenage boys had a fun night on us that night, apparently, because there it went. And I will say, there was not like, I want to go on record, we didn't have underage drinking going on at this party. You were not downstairs drinking with your friends. You were just downstairs hanging out with your girlfriends. This was not.
We were not the crew that was like drinking and No,
right. Okay.
We were like freaking playing on my whiteboard and like.
They were doing crafts.
I don't know, doing MASH and like, doing the thing and like talking about our crushes and like playing Wii Sports. Like, this was not the teenagers of today. This was like the teenagers of the early 2000s where you're just like, weird.
You were adorable. And so they would come up, and I think just the fact that all of us were loose and happy and just enjoying, and they just jumped right into it, and it was so much fun. It was like this intergenerational fun that started way back then, for me and you.
I think it was really fun for us because it's like, we go to these school dances and we're like really self-conscious. There's like boys there and our classmates, and here it's just like moms, like
No
whatever,
self-conscious,
So
you don't care.
we were just all dancing our hearts out, and it was like,
yes. And I want to speak to that as a safe space, because I think that was a lot of what I thought about, because we would go to events with the Rolling Hill Association or town events, and there might be dancing, but it's like you're there with your husband, and who's really going to dance? And some of the husbands don't want to dance, and then everybody's like, you're conscious of like, I don't know, when, not to say when men are there it becomes awkward, but it becomes a thing where maybe the women are kind of showing off. Like, I can't put it into words properly, but this was like a safe space. There was no concerns. Women did not have to worry. There was nobody going to be judging, looking, whatever. We were all there for this purpose. Like, you came to this thing with the purpose to dance your ass off. By the way, it was called a DURBO party, which stood for dance your, with a U, because I'm a nerd. You are, so D-U-R for your, but B, off. Oh, so it was a DURBO party. So I even branded it, and I was like, DURBO, and this was like DURBO
we
number
gotta bring
one.
them back.
We had like 7 DURBO. I had 7 of these at least. By the end, it was like there was too many people to come into the house at one point. I didn't know half the people that were there because people would bring people. I was getting emails from people like, can so-and-so get on the list to get in? Like, I was like now like a bouncer. I don't know. And I had people, I had my friends, my high school friends came to one, and it was just really, it turned into like an epic thing. And when it was sad to leave the community, because I know they were like the dance parties, because it was like their night out. We did these things where people, I get emails. I felt like I was 25 again. You unleashed something in me I didn't know was there. I was like crying sometimes reading these emails the days after. I wish I saved them. I tried to look for them last night because I knew we were going to be talking about them.
I was like, you don't delete emails.
I know they're there somewhere. I just got to find them. Right? My 44,000 emails.
30,000 emails unread.
It's crazy. But
that was the thing when you...
The thing about it, though, I want to just say is it was this idea of building community that we have now on social media, but I was doing it in real life. And I'm going to give credit to Joe Herbalist, and I don't know if he's listening, but I hope he does listen at some point. That's Tommy's friend Joe, who when we were starting Socialize, he spoke to Grace, and he was talking about like the things about me, about how this business could evolve and what are my strengths. And he brought up the dance parties as a connection to what I'm doing now on social media was literally what I was doing then for that community in real life. So I was bringing women together that might never have known each other, met each other, hung out together. They would have a common thread being at this party because it would be like, how do you know Helen? How do you know Helen? And I didn't know all of them a lot of times because some of them were their friends of friends that they brought. So I got to meet people, and it was good memes, Jewel, good memes. Great memories.
I miss them. I like really want you to like bring them. Like I really think it would be we were talking about after chemo and everything, like you should have like a dance party celebration. Like that'd be so fun. And like maybe like it still would be fun if we did it on like the 1-year anniversary of you being diagnosed with cancer. It could be like we have a dance party and like could be a thing or something. But they were just so fun, and I don't know, they were just, there was no rules. It was just really like, it's fun to just dance and like nobody's watching, honestly. And I don't know. It's like you'd never go to the way people danced at this party is not the way people would dance if they ever like went to a club even.
I know.
Like it was just, it was so fun. We have to find some pictures because there was pictures. We should find some pictures of the dance party and post them because I have this one. We got like crazy leggings one year. I mean, you got like bright pink, and we like dressed up, but I don't know. They were just like, it was such a fun and like pure time. I don't know, as like a kid, and like even I was like a teenager, and I like all my friends, like we really enjoyed it. Like
it's such
I don't know.
It's funny that you say this because I feel like that is a lot of maybe even feeds into why our relationship is so good because I included you in those, and they were like the adult dance parties, but you guys were welcome to be at them. I wasn't going to say, all right, you get wasted with us. I'm not going to let you drink because you were underage. No, so that wasn't a thing.
None of us drank. I don't think unless my friends,
you know what I mean?
But I think I didn't know about it. But like, I don't know. I think my friends had like a lot of respect for you. So like that wasn't really going to be a thing. Right. So
it was just like, you're right. It was pure. And it was even pure for the women that went. And I mean, they would come there, and some of them would be like, would say, they loved how free I was with it, that I wasn't like inhibited, and I was like happy to just like lead the charge of everybody, just be yourself, and nobody judged anyone else for how they were dancing or what. We all like related on songs. A lot of times we'd be singing. Oh my gosh, my childhood friend who lives in Chatham, she lives Lisa Hart she lived behind me when she was a child. Like we were back-to-back houses and we both ended up in the same town. There's a couple of songs that were just like so from our like third grade memories that would play, and the two of us would be like screaming. There would be like everybody in the room screaming to like the Partridge Family songs, for example. Does anybody even know who that is listening? But you know what I'm talking about.
And I have like a great appreciation for like all these older songs. And I think I have a playlist on Spotify, and I called it DURBO, and I tried to start like accumulating those old songs because it's just like, I love ABBA and like all that stuff, and like if we do have
we have to do one now.
Dance party, right. It should be like Mamma Mia themed. I know it's like so, but that would be so fun. It would be so much fun. Gimme, you mad to me. I'm ready. Let's do it. I think that we should make it, like right now we're going to commit to doing this, and I think we have to figure out how it's going to get done and when it's going to get done. Maybe it can get done. Because now we're just talking about it, and it's just like, it was like so fun,
good. And I think all the women that came to those parties would come out for it. You know, they would. Yeah. Because they experienced it firsthand. And I even tried to do one in my office at some point for work people, because I was like, I have to have a DURBO for the business. You know, and with a work thing, you end up having a much more wide net of people. So it was a little bit different. It was pretty great, but it wasn't women only. So it was a little different. But in the production world, men, women, you know, it's like there's such a plethora of personalities and people types, and it's like it was easy to open it up to that, and it was not like suburban husbands, so it was a little different having men at something like that, and they were all crew people that we worked together. So I did do that, and it was a success. I only did one because it was like an epic event to have to organize with food in the city and making sure it was safe and having like a quote an actual bouncer so that we wouldn't have random people coming in. It was a bit more of an effort to do that, but I think to have another one where we do the ladies only and we let loose and we just celebrate life, and we're all there. Nobody's judging each other. Everybody does, you know, the beauty of it was there was like stay-at-home moms, working moms. There was like just a variety of different people with different interests, you know, like, and even funny enough, like the yoga moms were there, or, you know what I mean? There's just so many different types of women that just like hung out together and found connection, and just like finding a new connection of somebody you might not normally even be hanging out with that you happen to talk to at that party. So it was beautiful. Ugh.
We're going to make this summer dance party happen.
I think we should make it happen.
I feel like we have to do it. So if you want to be there, let us know if this is something you would want to attend, because I think it would be so fun. We can make it. It would be epic.
Yeah, and we'd have to find like a central location where all the different people could come from all the different areas. The people that were at them before, you know, then it begs to me to think, like, should we be doing it in the location where we were, and then just invite everyone else, you know, so that somewhere in that area, so the Chatham ladies could all be there that were there at that
they
time.
They can take the train. Just kidding.
What did you say?
I said they can take the train.
Take the train into the city. We'll do it in the city.
Well, because I'm envisioning like rooftop summer vibes. There's twinkle lights. There's a disco ball. Like we're wearing dresses and platforms. And like,
I'm smiling so big. I love it. I see. You have already visualized it. You already have a vision for this. Make a PowerPoint. Let's go.
I'll get on it. Yeah.
Dance
parties are coming back.
Let's make a deck. We're going to have a DURBO deck. Deck for the
DURBO.
DURBO deck, meaning like a PowerPoint deck, and then we'll maybe do it on a deck somewhere on a roof. I like that idea.
Oh,
I love this. I bet you anybody who was at them that's listening right now will ask to be on the list. I guarantee it. I feel it, because if you were there, you know what I'm saying. It was magic. There was some kind of.
It's like
It was special.
There was a vibe. It was a Helen Karma mothership vibe.
It was, and it was like joy, pure joy and freedom, and just like
fun,
celebrating our childhood memories, our teen memories, our 20s memories together. Like it was just like really great. I think your friends would all show up too.
Oh, for sure. Like I was just gonna say, I feel like it'd be such. Like I know it was originally something for moms in Chatham, but like now if you opened it up, people of all ages would come.
Yeah.
And it would just be epic.
I think it would be great. Let's do it.
All right.
We're committed. We're committed. Yours truly,
Helen and Juli.
All right. Thanks for listening to Yours Truly with Helen and Juli. Make sure to follow us on social media. You know where to find us. At The Mothership with a U is me on TikTok and Instagram. And you have Juli at Truly Juli without an E on TikTok. And you can find her Instagram in the show notes. And don't forget to check out our business together, which is hellosocialize.com, where we bring you workshops, classes, tutorials, and the weekly creative forecast email, which gives you trend ideas, music suggestions, and original content ideas to help make your content creation journey easier. Don't forget to leave us a review if you're enjoying this. And as always, thank you to our producer, Grace, who's listening and guiding us along the way, our engineers at Melrose Podcast Studios on LA, East Coast and West Coast. So in LA, we have Morgan at the controls. In New York City here on Avenue B, I have Patrick at the controls. And of course, thank you all for listening. We appreciate you so much. Make sure you tune in next week. Bye.